Aaron, being that it's a WBC year and you're playing in that tournament, did you change anything about your off season to make sure you're ready to ramp up earlier than you normally would?
Nothing really changes. I think maybe just throwing a little earlier. I think that's one thing I usually wait a little bit later in the off season to start doing is throwing just to save the arm. And I think also coming back from the injury with the elbow, it was a smart idea to just kind of keep the throwing going. So that's good to go. And no, but it's kind of been the same ramp up for the most part. Get the same at bats I can, in these backfields or before camp starts, so that that first game with the Yankees and first game with the WBC, we're ready to roll.
You mentioned your elbow. In your mind, is that 100%? And is there anything you need to do maintenance-wise to make sure that it's?
Yeah, I think it's feeling great. I haven't had any issues so far, and I think we're ready to go. I'm throwing out there confident. Thrown the bases a couple times already, so no worries. So we'll just excited to get back out there and just have the confidence. Especially that was the toughest thing for me last year was the pitcher's working his butt off and the guys around me are working their butt off, and then a ball's hit to me and it's kind of I had no shot. So excited to get back out there and do my thing for the team.
Aaron Boone was in here a little while ago, and he talked about addressing the team earlier today. Just what did you take away from his message and that kind of first speech that he gave?
Did he tell you guys what he said?
Touched on several things, including social media, goals, players, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to share?
Yeah, no, he definitely hit on a lot of different things that I think are going to impact the team in a positive way. He touched on some negative stuff, touched on some positive stuff, but I think the ultimate message was just, which I've talked to him a lot about too, is just the standard of being a New York Yankee. What it means to play here, what it means to wear the pinstripes. A lot of legends have come through this building and played here and built up this organization, and they didn't do it just off of talent. They put in the work they put in every single day. There's a standard that comes with playing here. So he just really talked about that and some other things, and I think it was a great message.
Over left, Brendan.
You mentioned it would be smart for you to continue throwing throughout the offseason. Was there anything that any boxes you had to check this offseason to say to yourself, like, hey, I've crossed this hurdle, now I know I'm good?
Just really for me, it was just getting out there and throwing. Once I could long toss a little bit, and once I could really kind of let it go, I felt like I was in a good spot. So there's really nothing checking boxes. The training staff did a great job. They're really the ones pushing for, hey, let's have you throw all off season. I maybe took 2 weeks off, and then we were right back out there throwing. So it's hats off to them. They really took control of that one.
And there's been a lot of talk this offseason about you guys running it back with a similar team that you had last year. Just what do you think of doing that and the composition of this team?
I love it. I don't know. People might have their opinions on it because we didn't win it all last year. We fell short in the division series, but you get a chance to bring a lot of those guys back. They're impact players. You bring back a guy like Cody Bellinger who he can play all over the diamond. He can hit in the middle of the order for you. You can come with a big base hit when he needs to. You bring back Paul Goldschmidt, who's been an MVP, played all over, and just what he brings inside that clubhouse, not only on the field but in the clubhouse, he elevates, especially with the younger group we have, especially in the infield. You got a young core at the infield, and you have a guy like that can help him out. He's been there. He's done it. I'm excited. You just get another year of the young guys to develop. You bring back some big pieces, especially Trent Grisham, our center fielder, who had a breakout year. So I'm looking forward to it. And then you get to add G. Cole, down the road a little bit with some other guys. I like our chances.
We'll go to Murderers Row down here on the first row. Start with Chris.
Why was the time right for you to participate in the WBC? And when you were watching in 2023, did you regret not participating? And also, why do you feel like a lot of the stars have been wanting to participate this year?
The time was right. Just in 2023, being a free agent, I didn't know where I was going to go. I was hoping I was signing back with the Yankees. Hopefully they wanted me back. And, if I went somewhere else, I wanted to just be there for the new team. And then especially coming back to the Yankees, being named the captain, I didn't want to miss out on that first spring training being the captain. I want to be around the guys, and especially the young group of guys we had. It was kind of time or called up Wells. Volpe made the camp out of spring. I just want to be there for those guys, and yeah, the time is now to do it. It's USA came up a little short last year, but that's an exciting group of guys, and D-Rose got quite a squad he's put together so far. So looking forward to seeing what's happening. I think every country's have a lot of their superstars out there, so it's pretty cool.
Gary.
You and LeGrand traded some blows today. What did you think of his stuff?
He's impressive. I've seen a lot of videos, heard a lot of stories about him over the years, just kind of being in the organization, and the kid, he's going to be special. I think besides, you can look up at the radar and see, 103-mile-an-hour the fastball they threw by me, but I think it's also just the presence he has on the mound. He's a kid that we sent up some nasty lineups against him, today, and he didn't care. He wanted to be out there, and he came right after us, and that's what you need if you're going to play in the Bronx. You're going to play in New York. You got to have that demeanor. That doesn't matter who's in front of you or what happens. I'm going to go out there and get the job done. So I'm excited about him, excited about his stuff, but I think just his personality and presence, man, he's going to be a special player for us.
Brian and Randy.
Aaron, talking to some of your teammates who are going to play in the WBC with and against you, do you sense there's more excitement, and where do you think that's all coming from?
I have no idea. I don't know. I think it's exciting for the fans. You get a chance to. I've never had the opportunity to represent the USA, and getting a chance to wear that across my chest is going to be pretty powerful. And I don't know. I think a lot of people have a lot of pride for their country. So I've been going back and forth with Fernando Cruz and Doval and Jazz, especially because we're going to see him soon. So it's just fun. It's just going to be great for baseball, great for the fans, and we'll go out there and take care of business.
You took some photos with the uniform on. What was that like the first time you put the USA on?
It was cool, but I think it'll mean more once I'm in the clubhouse, in the locker room with all the guys, and really see everybody else decked out in it. You're doing a photo shoot in an empty warehouse, and you're just it's cool, but it's not the same. So I think when I get an opportunity to be there and be in front of everybody, it'll be fun.
Go ahead, Randy.
Aaron, you always play down all your accomplishments, from the MVPs, now batting title. How do you get to be so humble? Have you always been that way? Were you like that as a kid? It's not like that for everybody, but it's always about the team and not ever what you do, which is, you mentioned the legends, and you're already one as a player, but yet you play everything down.
For me, that just goes back to the people I've been surrounded by. My family, my parents. Watching them be teachers and how they treated their students day in and day out was pretty influential for me. Just seeing the love and care they poured into other people, and the rewards they got from that, and then all my coaches along the way, that all they preached was it's put the other 40 guys before you, and I think that's where it was kind of. My college coach was one of the first ones that called me after I got drafted by the Yankees, and I didn't expect to get drafted by the Yankees. We're talking all these West Coast teams, hopefully stay close to home, and he said that's exactly where you belong and where you need to be. They're going to fit right in with what you believe, and it's about winning. It's about the greater good. But for me, it comes from the people around me. I've just been surrounded by great teammates, great family, great friends, and definitely a great organization.
One other quick one. You say every spring that there's something new that you're working on. You want to get better in a certain area, whether it's stolen bases or arm. Or is there something this year that you feel that's a little lacking in your game you need to improve?
Definitely base running's on my mind this year a lot. I saw a lot of guys around the league with 40, 30 bases that you don't usually normally expect to be running that much, especially with how the game's changed with the pickoffs and the pitch clock. I think that's one way we can utilize, or at least I can utilize some of my skills a little bit more, get in scoring position, because with the lineup we have, is probably the best offense in all of baseball last year. If I can find a way to get myself in scoring position, if they're going to walk me or do something, then some good things are going to happen. 60-60. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Use that in the questionnaire you've been passing out. Eric, go ahead to the right.
How curious are you to see the ABS system implemented in
spring, for real. You had it obviously last year, but you knew you weren't going to have it for the regular season, and just the strategy behind it, and when guys are going to choose to challenge, when not, etc.
I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be a little weird because I'm not an umpire. I'm a hitter, so I've never been in the box trying to think about, is that a ball? Is that a strike? Is it there? It's more about if I feel like I can hit it, I feel like it's a strike. If I feel like I can't hit it, usually it's a ball. So that'll be a little different for some people, especially a couple guys that, I think of Giancarlo Stanton, who his whole career has been kind of getting screwed over, and also now this kind of changes everything, and he's so routine oriented to where you get a bad call, you get a good call, whatever. It's kind of about flushing to get the next pitch. Well, now you got 2 seconds to try to make up your mind. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I think with our team discipline, I think we'll probably be one of the better teams in the league with it, or hopefully get rewarded for it. And we just had a meeting about it, so I kind of told the guys, be aggressive with it, especially on the fields doing the live at bats in spring training. Just we got to get a feel for it. We got to use it. This could be something that could be a tool that, if we scratch out a couple more wins because we got a couple calls right, then hopefully that'll help us not tie for the division.
You mentioned Giancarlo getting screwed over a little bit, but I think you've become the poster child for most low strikes called against him in X amount of time. How personally are you approaching it?
We'll see as the season goes on. It's tough for me right now. I haven't seen live pitching in how many months, and for me to hop in there and start saying, "Oh, this is a ball, this is that," it's going to take me a little bit to get my zone back. But I'll use it. It'll be a little tough. I got a lot of respect for the umpires and what they do behind the plate. So, I usually pride myself in not showing them up or putting on a show or doing anything like that, because they got a tough job back there. And so we'll see. I'll find the right time to use it. If they're pretty outrageous calls, I think I'll use it. But I've always preached to other guys who complain. It's like it only takes one pitch. It doesn't matter if you get screwed over on the first one or the third one. It only takes one pitch to do something. So don't worry about the one that you miss.
Bill to the left, notice.
Aaron, in a normal spring training, you would ramp it up to get ready, at the end of March. But now all of a sudden, you have to ramp it up to get ready so much earlier. What's the mindset as far as that's concerned?
Yeah, it's just trying to get a couple more at bats. I think for me, just treating some stuff more game-like, early on, especially like these live at bats, trying to treat it more game-like. Because usually the first couple of weeks, you're trying to get your eye, you're trying to get comfortable in the box again, see velocity. We've only been seeing soft toss and BP, and also now you're seeing 103 from LaGrange. So it's, just treat everything like a game, a little earlier, and hopefully that works out.
Otis.
Aaron, first full squad workout today, but there have been a number of players here for a while. A lot of them have pointed towards you, your leadership, about them getting here early. What does it say about the commitment of these players to not duplicating last year and getting further in the playoffs?
Yeah, I try to appreciate those guys every year, and even talk to them in the offseason about, we got an amazing facility down here. We got amazing minor league complex across the street. We got great coaches, training staff. They're all here to help us, and I know everybody has their places they spend the offseason at, but the sooner you can get down here and get in front of those guys and get a chance to work and get some quality work in, it's only going to improve your game, but also improve us to where, now when I'm hitting with guys, if they're talking about their swing or they're talking about something they're working on, I can pick that up, and it may be a conversation we have down the road in June where I'm like, hey, do you remember, back in January you were saying, hey, when you do this, you feel good. Maybe just it sparks something so they kind of get back on track. And same with me. Maybe I might say something that somebody picks up and it helps me in at bat in August. So I think just the more time we get together, we get to kind of gel and be around each other. That's only going to equal more wins, I think, for the Yankees. So I've always harped on guys about trying to get down here early. Let's put the work in. Let's grind together, and good things are going to happen.
Simone in the back left.
Aaron, we talked to Aaron Boone a minute ago and asked him, Jazz said yesterday that he helps make the Yankees like a brotherhood, that his leadership style is one of the best things about him. What are your thoughts on his impact on the organization? And then also he alluded to, running things by you and your guys' unique relationship as well. What is that dynamic like?
It's been great getting to know Boone over the years. I've only had 2 managers. had Girardi for, basically a year and a little plus, and then, Boone since 2018. So he's had a pretty good open door policy to where, there's been so many times like I'll be frustrated with something or I don't like what's going on, and I'll be kind of sitting in his office right after the game ready to, kind of talk things out. But I think just having that option to where I can voice the opinion of the team, I try to listen to everybody on the team. If it's a bullpen guy, if it's a backup catcher, to the starting first baseman, I want to hear everything they have to say and even the opinions I have, and I take it right up to the top. And he's pretty good about getting back to me, or he'll voice his opinion at times where he's like, I don't agree with it this time, or there's other times when he's like, hey, like I think that's a good idea. So I think the players appreciate that in that room, to where they know their voice is heard, or if they don't like something going on, he's here to help us become the best versions of ourselves and be the best team on the planet. So I think just having that dynamic to where he pushes you, motivates you, but also if there's a time that you got a question, he's right there for you. So,
Greg and Clap.
Aaron, what was the offseason like for you, just waiting to see what the front office was going to do, and then obviously with Cody, going into January, not knowing whether he was going to be back or not, and how important he is to this team?
It was brutal. I'm like, I see a lot of free agents out there. I see a lot of guys that, like the Bellingers, the Grishams, the Goldschmidts, like, let's sign these guys right now and then start adding more pieces, because I'm seeing other teams around the league get better. They're making trades. They're signing big prospects or big players. And, we're sitting there for a while, kind of making smaller moves. But, it was tough there in the beginning. But I think once we solidified getting Bellinger back, we got Trent being our center fielder, be our leadoff guy for another year. And then you had a guy like Goldie, some of the back end, bullpen pieces that we've been doing. I think we're being in a good spot. But the early on, it was pretty tough to watch. So I'm like, man, we're the New York Yankees. Let's go out there and get the right people, get the right pieces to go out there and finish this thing off, because we got a special group of players here. We got a good core, good young core. So it was frustrating, but I think we're right where we need to be.
Did you express any of that to them?
Yeah. But they took care of business. And I've voiced my opinion about a couple of guys, and Bellinger being one of the guys that he just adds a dynamic to this team that we've been missing for quite a few years. So excited he's back.
Clap right behind you.
Aaron, speaking about the offseason, is it tougher this time around? Eight Octobers in a row you've gone home disappointed. Is it tougher as the years go on to clear your mind, clean the slate, and start all over again in spring training?
Each year's tough. Anytime you're not the winner, it's a tough off season. It's a tough everything. But you can pick some nuggets out of some tough moments to improve on, or to kind of give you a little bit of fire to push through the off season. But I think I'll never be satisfied until we go out there and finish it. No matter the awards, the MVPs, All Stars, like, man, that stuff, that doesn't matter. What matters is putting New York back up on top and putting this organization back where it belongs, which is being the best organization in the game. So it doesn't really get harder. I got a job to do. I don't get paid to just play this game. I get paid to win here. So we got to go out and win.
Take a couple more, Ron.
Were there points at all with the elbow where you wondered or worried whether you'd need surgery?
Yeah, there's some tough moments during the year, especially. I've never dealt with any elbow stuff, so I was definitely concerned. But I knew where we were at as a team and how important those last couple of games were going into the end of the year. So I was like trying everything I could to be out there, and I wouldn't have it any other way. If something would have happened or it would have got worse, I'd rather be doing it on the field than anywhere else. But no, we had a great training staff. They were honest with me. They were slowed me down when I needed to slow down. They sped me up when I needed to. So I was a little concerned at times, but they had my back, so we were good.
What was the moment then when they told you didn't need surgery? Was it during the season, after the playoffs?
Kind of near the end of the year, kind of after the postseason. You run all the checks again, you do all the tests, and they said you're good to go. And I said, all right, when can we start throwing? So it was good.
How much of a relief was that?
No, it was great. It was great to hear those words, so that knowing I can go into the off season and just prepare the way I need to be in the best shape to start the year.
Last two in the back, Nelson.
Aaron, the physical gifts and tools that you've had were obvious from day one, but your maturation when it comes to the mental side, what do you attribute that to, your growth and your maturity?
I think just having more seasons under your belt, just more reps, more opportunities, get beat down a little bit, pick yourself back up. I think that's the best way to go about it. That's how you get tougher. That's how you mature is, you kind of get your butt kicked a little bit. You fall short. You work as hard as you can and, it doesn't go your way. I think for me that you just learn a lot of lessons along the way and, learn good stuff, learn bad stuff. And then that's where it's weird now kind of being the older guy at camp is now I get to share some of those lessons where I see guys kind of come in the same footsteps where, hey, they first couple of years in the big leagues or they're a top prospect trying to come up and, I got the opportunity to share some of those lessons or some of those moments I was going through, and hopefully, if I can help their career out anyway or just help them get over those speed bumps a little bit along the way, then I guess I'm doing my job.
Last one, right here.
Thank you. Hey, Aaron. I'm Leo Yang, TBS Japan. Thank you. So again, looking ahead to WBC, Japanese fans are dying for the rematch between Team USA and Team Japan, obviously. What is your take on the current roster for Team Japan and any particular players you got your eye on?
Ooh, it's gonna be a fun one. Definitely hoping to see them down there in the finals. They're the reigning champs, so they got a great squad coming back. But I think that's why the Team USA really bulked up this year to go out there and take care of business. I haven't had a chance to look at too much of Team Japan's roster yet, but if they're bringing back the same crew they did 3 years ago, it's going to be a heavyweight fight, that's for sure. Because they got a lot of from the pitching side of things, they got a complete roster there. But then up and down their lineup, they got guys that can hit for power, hit for average, put the ball in play. They got great speed, so. It's going to be a fun matchup. I think the fans, worldwide are just looking forward to seeing all these athletes go at it and kind of see what happens.
And obviously, the WBC could be the ultimate sort of the grudge match after the way the World Series ended back in 2024. How do you feel about another potential the showdown with the Ohtani in the WBC?
It'll be great. It'll be great. I haven't played him in a WBC, so this will be, hopefully my first time. So there's really no grudge match. It's about me representing the U.S. for the first time and, going out there and bringing the gold home. So it'll be fun. There's going to be some great moments, and I'm just excited for the squad that we got. The boys are pumped up. All the guys I've talked to, texted with, they can't wait to get out to Arizona and get this thing rolling.